up, guys? Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different for me. I'm going to be upholstering this bench. Now, I wanted to see if I could do it before I got a professional upholsterer to do it, to save a little bit, but I already did one cushion, as you can see. Little mitered corners, little zipper bottom. I'm going to put some Velcro on it so it lays flat. But I think it turned out pretty good. I'm just going to make the bigger one that goes here. So I just thought I'd show you guys. So there's my foam. It's not yet cut. I'm going to measure out my dimensions and draw on it with a Sharpie, and then we will cut it out. All right, so got my measurements, and it's important to add the 1/2 inch to both dimensions. So when you cut your fabric, it squeezes the foam so your fabric's not all loose. All right, and when you're ready to cut it, you're going to grab one of your family's most precious meat cutters and use that. This cuts foam very good, especially upholstery foam. And you want to try to keep it as straight up and down as possible. So I'll try to run this across the edge of this island, even though it is rounded, but we'll try it out. And I just changed my mind on which direction I want to cut first. So I cut off the shorter end first. And there's your edge it leaves. Very nice, very clean. All right, now that we got that all cut out, what you're going to want to do is trace out the outline of your foam. And then from that line that you draw, subtract 1/4 on every side, and that will be the mark you cut out. All right, here's my cutout. I marked the middle of each side horizontally and vertically, hot dog style and hamburger style. I marked the middles. So now, with this being a 1/2 inch smaller from each dimension of the foam, 1/4 inch on every single side, this is going to be my bottom piece, and I am going to put on the zipper. And those middle lines will help you line up the zipper right in the middle. And I got this double-sided tape about 1/4 inch, and this is called basting tape. And what this will allow me to do is to stick that zipper down so when I'm sewing it, it doesn't move. And you want to keep the zipper about 1 inch in from either side. And that way, when you go to sew on the edges, you're not going to be running into the zipper. So I got my pull facing down, facing the fabric, and that is how I'll stick it on the face side. I'll put the basting tape on the face side, sticking the zipper down. So when I sew it and I flip it over and I cut the seam, that way the zipper will be facing the proper orientation. All right, I got it started a little bit. So I undid the zipper at the top part just because this part's so bulky and it's hard for it to lay flat. So I just go back and forth a little bit just to make sure that seam doesn't come unraveled. And then I'm just going to finish doing it the rest of the way. There we go. And also I keep the side of this little metal piece on the sewing machine touching the teeth all the way down. Just as a little guide. And all right, that's what that looks like. So after that, let's go ahead and make our sides. All right, so the next piece, which is the top piece and the side piece, it's all going to be cut from the same piece. So we're going to take the outline of our foam block, and then we are going to add the thickness of our foam minus 1/4 inch. And you're going to do that all the way around. So it extends past your trace of the foam block past. So this foam is 2 inches. I'm going to add 1 3/4 inches on all sides. And here's a close-up of what we're trying to accomplish. So we got our foam block traced out, and then the 1 3/4 inch edge. And on the actual corners, we're going to be cutting those out. So that is what we're left with. And we're going to do that all the way around. All right, so I flipped the fabric over. So now this is the top. So you're going to put that double-sided tape on one of your corners and then just meet it up just like that. So you got a little closed little corner, and you can do that to all the other corners. All right, now I'm going to sew all my corners. So I'm just going to sew it in. This sewing machine has a little measuring guide on the side, and I will sew it 3/8 inch from the corner in. So just up and down, and then go back and forth a couple of times just to lock in that seam. And right there is a prime example of how I know exactly what I'm doing. But I'm just showing you what I do. Anyway, so I got it all done. Now I'm going to unzip it and turn it inside out and see what I got. Another prime example. Didn't even cut out my zipper hole. So now I can't turn it inside out because I already sewed everything together. So I'm just going to cut it out from this side, which you're really not supposed to do. So cut out your zipper as you're making your back piece so you don't forget. But everything looks a lot better inside out. So let's go ahead and try to fit that foam in here. And after wrestling with it for a little bit, it actually turned out pretty good. So turning it inside out definitely hides a lot of crimes. The entire time I'm sewing, I'm thinking, I have no idea what I'm doing. But the same thing happened with the other one. And then I put the foam in, I was like, wow, that's actually kind of cool. So if I can do it, well, would you look at that? I think that is really cool. Now let's see if it's comfortable.